We have the CEO and co-founder of OMG Commerce coming in here. He is an OG inside of our space. Top 3% spender when it comes to YouTube. I think of him as Mr. YouTube because he's hosting events all over the country where Google and YouTube show up, and they got big fancy stages, and it is awesome. I'm talking about the one and only Brett Curry. Brett, get in here. Get in here, Brett.
Man,
look at that.
Oh,
Woo! Get in here, big boy.
That was my favorite introduction that I've ever had.
All right.
Physical stages. Like, I need you to come to all of my live events.
Oh, we're going to do it, bro. We're going to do it, bro. We're going to be there hyping it and live streaming and all of the things, brother. We appreciate you making the time and coming in here, man.
Well, hey, when you get called into what is arguably the hottest show in e-commerce, you do it. It's like, this is prime time. This is prime time.
Let's go.
You know, I think I'm going to clip that, Brett, and I'm going to use it on our new intro that's about to debut. I think that one has to be included. Okay, I would love to start here, Brett, because you are Mr. YouTube. Let me just tell you some of my musings, and then I want you to make the case for us. I think that YouTube is still incredibly underleveraged in the ecom D2C world, in the Shopify ecosystem, you could say, at least. And I confess I am one of the underleveragers. I have yet to really utilize all the capabilities there. And just tell us, for those who aren't spending there today, for those who have yet to foray into that whole space, brother, why is YouTube so underleveraged? Why is it incredible? And why should we be allocating more dollars there right now in 2026?
It's a great question. You framed that well. And yeah, you mentioned I speak all over the country about YouTube. I'm going to be in Nashville next week speaking at an event. We do events at the Google YouTube offices. I always start by saying, like, how many people here are actively advertising and growing on YouTube? And it's usually like 10% of the audience.
Seriously, man.
Maybe 15, you know, like if we do an event at YouTube, then maybe it's like 20 or something, but it's still the vast majority are not. And so why is that? Why are brands not advertising on YouTube? One, it means I've got a lot of work to do. Apparently, I'm as motivating as I am, I'm not doing a good enough job. People are not taking the plunge just yet. But I really think it's ultimately that the platform is a bit complex. It's complex in terms of it's kind of different the way people engage with YouTube than other social platforms, right? You got kind of like 4 distinct modes that a user is engaged in across YouTube, right? So there's streaming. In fact, just last night, my kids and I we were hanging out. We were watching YouTube on TV. I got served some ads for like skincare for men in their 40s.
All right.
I think it was for skincare for men in their 50s, and I was offended because I'm mid 40s. But anyway, but the ad experience was great. So there's streaming. We're watching YouTube on TV. It's like half of all YouTube views or more are on TV screens.
Crazy.
There's a little bit of shopping going on, right? So we are researching products. When I went to buy a new truck, a 4x4 several years ago, I went deep on watching like some 4x4 videos and channels on YouTube. It was tremendously fun for me. I ended up with a Toyota Tundra. Very happy with the purchase. But
let's go.
We're shopping a little bit there. There is the scrolling. So if you're on your mobile app on YouTube, you're scrolling. That is more like Facebook or Instagram. And then you've got kind of the shorts aspect, right? So it's like that piece does fit more like TikTok, more like Instagram Reels. And I actually just did this myself last night. I used to make fun of people that do this, but do you know where the fastest growing device for watching YouTube Shorts?
I bet it's the TV.
It's TV.
I believe it. I totally believe it.
Which is so weird, but I was watching, my wife and I were laying in bed watching Nate Bargatze shorts on TV. Dude's hilarious. And so I'm like,
he is hilarious.
All right, I made fun of my kids because I saw them doing that. I'm like, why are you watching YouTube shorts on TV? But that's a thing. Like I was just at the Google offices in LA, and like the head of agency is like, no, that's the fastest growing place for YouTube shorts.
That's unbelievable.
That's fascinating. I mean, Yeah, so I think that's true. There's more complexity to it. People are navigating it in different ways. That
Creatives are different. Like you
yeah.
can't just type over your creatives from Meta or TikTok. Sometimes you can. I can talk about when you can, but like the creative approach is different. And then
I,
it's the measurement piece. You got to measure. You measure YouTube differently, and it's a little bit more cumbersome for a couple of reasons. But then in terms of, and I'll keep this short because I want to keep this a dialogue. But the reason why you should lean into YouTube is because it is one of the most incremental, arguably for some brands, the most incremental platform for growing your business. Now, that does not mean it's going to overshadow Meta or become your number one channel, but it could very easily become your number two channel, or it could become your most incremental channel up to a certain amount of scale. And so, working now with a lot of brands. A lot of brands come to us that are 9 figures that say, "Hey, we know YouTube can work. It's not. Help us make it work." So it's what we do. Just help a really big brand that you guys would all know. They just had their best house incrementality read on YouTube, and it was at scale for them, which was really exciting. Crushed Meta in this particular test, which is cool.
Incredible.
So, yeah. So that's kind of what we do, and that's a bit of a framing. So happy to dive into whatever makes sense.
Colin, you take this, but wherever you take it, I want to double down on the creative piece because this to me is like crucial and fascinating. Go ahead, Colin.
Well, I just want to start at the beginning. I mean, you started OMG Commerce in 2010. That's 16 years in the agency game. Most agencies don't even survive 5.
Right.
What are you doing structurally that is allowing the machine to keep running while everybody else just burns out, they sell, or they shut down? Like how are you doing this?
I think it's probably like a personality flaw that I have, or potentially something deep in the recesses of my brain or my childhood. Yeah. Something, I don't know, something is, but I think it was just made for agency life. I like serving brands. I like the service industry. I do feel like I'm creative and I have ideas, but I've never been like a product inventor. You know, some people are like, whoa, I was in the shower, I had this idea for a new way to cut pizza or something like that. That never happens to me. But I will be on a plane or in the shower like, oh, I've got a great idea of how to sell this thing.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, yeah, like agency life just always fit well for me. We've always obsessed over like what can we do to create measurable, tangible results. We say we gotta create results you can see and feel. Like, so that's what we talk about across the agency. We want to be an agency that people love and trust, and like, you know, we're the go-to. So I don't know, I have fun with it. I genuinely enjoy this game, even though sometimes it does feel like you're getting beat up. So yeah, 16 years. It's a crazy long time to be in the agency space. That's for sure.
I totally believe that answer because speaking of results, you can see and feel. Whenever you talk, I can see that you dig it. You're not tired of it. You're 16 you're 16 years in, and you love this.
I mean, I would listen to you guys on vacation, right? I would like listen to marketing operators and I listen for fun. Like I do that. And so it's just the way I'm wired. So.
And get more into the creative piece of this. I know that at least for myself and a lot of our other D2C brethren and sistren, whatever the word is, it's everybody's meta coded. At least I can speak for myself. Totally. How does ad creative work differently on YouTube? I know a lot of my friends have said, yeah, let's test it a little bit. We just kind of throw something up there and it didn't work that great. You know, talk to me about the creative process and making content that performs on YouTube. What's that look like? How's it different? What's the components?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I'm a big believer, you start where you can and you build an MVP, and that's true with creative as well. So like, what can we build that's still fit for YouTube, but that's a bit of an MVP that we can learn with, we can test with, and then we can go bigger from there. So as we do a lot of these events, we partner with Raindrop Creative Shop out of San Diego, Jacques Spitzer, he's my boy.
Yeah,
we do a lot of things together. Phenomenal. Like, I think there's nobody better in the game for building great winning. They're their ads run on across all platforms, but they're great at YouTube. And so we first collaborated working on native. So we were part of Native's ascension when they were like 100 million a year. Did over $1 billion in 25, 24.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. So like we collaborated. That's when I really got to know Jacques Spitzer and crew. But now we do events together and stuff like that. So I think there's a point in time, like you're going native big, you need like a raindrop video or something like that. YouTube will handle, and YouTube even in some ways wants higher production value, but you do not have to start there. And in fact, I think depending on how clear you are on what's going to work on YouTube, it's probably not the best place to start. So MVP, what are we doing? Well, this is where we say, hey, let's take the best of what you have, across Meta, across TikTok, across other channels. Hopefully get some B-roll and some other things.
Yeah.
But it's not going to work just like it is right now. You got to modify it. And so a few of the ways to think about YouTube. YouTube does function a little more like a TV ad. If you had to make a comparison, a one-to-one comparison, what is YouTube like? It is a little more like direct response TV than it is purely like a TikTok or a Meta ad. Now, with the exception being Shorts. Shorts functions very similarly with a couple nuances that I'll share in a minute. But you can take those components and then pull them into an ad format where it does feel a little more like TV. So what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, you've got to have a good hook, right? People are forced to watch the first 5 seconds.
Which is great.
Which is great because, and we've all done this, you get served an ad and you're like, curse you, YouTube ad, hovered over the skip button, and then something is like, oh shoot, I lost my.
The hilarious thing is that as you were saying that, your camera turned off and it looked like it canceled.
We're going to pretend that this is a good way just to keep people engaged. Give me 10 seconds. So I'll switch up the battery. We're back live.
Keep going. That speaking of Raindrop, by the way, I kind of see Jacques and Raindrop. I kind of see them as like the spiritual successor of the Harmon brothers from years gone by, and like the creative that they have made. I feel like it. I don't know. I kind of feel like they're from the same tree. Okay, now Brett is back. Okay, all right. Hey, we're hovering over the button. We're hovering over the button.
And then something in the ad makes us stick, and we keep watching. And this is something, and I totally agree that Raindrop is kind of like in the spirit animal of Harmon Brothers, I would argue, and so was better. But something in the ad gets me to stick around, and so I keep watching. And so what does a good YouTube ad need? It's got to have a hook, and that hook needs to be pretty direct. You can lean into curiosity. That's fine. That can work. You can ask a provocative question. You can make a provocative statement, but there's got to be something to hook the right person, the right audience, to get them to stick around for a little bit longer. We do need a product demo, and there's different ways we kind of break down and score what a demo should entail. But like it's video, so I need to see the product in action. I need some social proof. I need some objection busting. I need you to show me, right? So I'm from Missouri, the show me state.
Show me state.
Our animal is the mule, right? So I just like always picture someone in Missouri in my mind when I'm making this. Like, they're skeptical. They are extremely skeptical. They're going to call BS on whatever you say. So I got to position this and overcome objections. They need to kind of like stack value and have a clear call to action, right? So you got to have these components there. And where I think that's different is sometimes on Meta, the video can be just a great scroll stop, right? Just a great thumbs up. The copy around it does the rest of the work, and that gets someone to click and take action. With YouTube, the video's got to do the whole thing. The video's got to do all the heavy lifting. And so that's where people fail, is they don't know, or they try to take shortcuts, or they take, a video from Meta that only has music and, movement. It's going to fail on YouTube every time.
Wow.
You've really got some pieces there modularly baked out, Brett, that I think are really helpful for those who want to foray into YouTube. Go ahead, Colin. I love that.
Yeah, I just want to dive a little bit more into agency life together. I mean, you and Andrew Ferris put out a 2026 agency survey together. without spoiling the entire thing, what was the single most surprising find about the state of agencies right now? I mean, we covered a little bit about state of agencies earlier this year. I'd love to hear exactly from you, because I mean, you've been in it for so long at this point.
So now I think this would be a good opportunity, because I think you guys would accept this. I could totally BS an answer right now and just say something. Maybe super, but if I said it with enough conviction, you'd believe me. That actually wasn't me. So I don't know. Was that maybe Andrew Udarian?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll take credit where we got that. That actually was not me. So I do not know.
Well, I appreciate that. Talk to us about the measurement side. I want to focus on YouTube here. Talk to us about the measurement side. What's different from Meta? What's unique in it that, just makes it different for people to step into?
So the core of the issue, it comes down really to one thing, and that's click-through rate. Okay, so half the click-through rate that Meta gets is what YouTube gets. So people just in general don't click on YouTube ads. So even if I'm on desktop or mobile or whatever, I'm there for a reason. Even if I'm being entertained and watching Nate Bargatze videos, I'm there to be entertained. I'm not as likely to click away. If I'm on a TV screen, which is what I was doing last night. My kids and I were watching. There's those nice QR codes that go next to an ad, so you could scan that. You could take some action there. But for the most part, I'm watching TV. I don't know. I'm enjoying the moment.
Makes sense.
So it's not a pure click-based medium. Think more like TV, right? You take a click attribution mindset to television, and you will be thoroughly disappointed, because TV gets 0 clicks, right? YouTube does get some, but it gets less. And so that's where basically all the measurement. What's that? It is tough. There are ways, and I think we've got tools to kind of make this easier. But yeah, so you can't just look at click data. And which, by the way, if you use your favorite MTA tool, which we're friends with all of them, they all have benefits. But what are MTAs, multi-touch attribution tools? They're still click-based, right? MTA tools still kind of hate YouTube. Even Google's own measurement in platform underreports, right? So I've become like the #1 non-paid spokesperson, I think, for House.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet that's why you love these incrementality tests.
I love it. Yeah. So Olivia Corey's become friends. She's amazing. Love what House has built. But they did a study, it's maybe a year old now or something like that, but it's 190 YouTube incrementality studies. For those that don't know, it's basically like geo holdouts. We're looking at, these are our test geos where we're running YouTube, as in this example. These are our holdout geos where we're not running YouTube. And now we're going to scientifically measure the distance. So what it is designed to get to the bottom of is, what did this ad actually do for me? Because a lot of people are like, hey, what if I just turned off? What if I turned off Meta? What would happen? Well, usually what would happen is your business is going to go way, way down. So Meta is incremental. If you turn off branded search, on the other hand, it may be like, and nothing happened. I turned off branded search and I got the same amount of sales. Not super incremental. So the question is, how incremental is YouTube? Well, what the study found, again, 190 tests, so with like 74 brands like AG1 and Ridge Wallets and things like that, is they found that YouTube is 3.42x more incremental than what you see in platform. Meaning, wow, you see one ROAS in platform, that actually is probably more like a 3.42x ROAS. So YouTube is under reporting in their own platform to the tune of about 70%.
That's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it's almost like, wow, I thought Google was really good at measuring. And they are, but still you got to think about, like, what's the core of Google Ads? What's the core of even like old school Google Analytics? It's all click-based, right? It's all a click-based world. So search gets, all the credit or most of the credit. So does shopping, things like that. I love Google Shopping. But so that's at the core of it, right? Is that it's not as click-based as really any other platform. And so you got to measure other things. So we look at incrementality studies. We look at things like branded search lift, and Google's getting better at creating tools there where you can see, hey, people that saw this ad were more likely to search for my brand or search for my brand for the first time, things like that. You can look at conversion lift, which is kind of like Google's version of incrementality that you can measure on the platform. So Google's getting better. They're adding more tools. But yeah, it's kind of a combination of direct sales, which you'll get some, but it just won't be as impressive as like Meta. Looking at search lift, because that's often the next thing. I see this ad, I'm interested, I don't take action, I'm going to search later. Then we look at things like conversion lift, incrementality studies, we look at post-purchase surveys, and then we're also looking at like kind of cross-channel lift. So when I increase spend on YouTube, does that drive more sales to Amazon? It should. Does it drive more sales to retail? And if I'm using like an MMM tool, like a Prescient or something, it's kind of measuring those correlations as well. So you really got to like triangulate YouTube from multiple angles.
Two more things here, Brett, and you cannot leave without touching on this. We appreciate you making the time and coming. Man, I am so bullish, as we have talked about before, on social commerce, live selling, etc.
Yes.
You know, I wonder if there could be a real future for YouTube in this kind of way of just more social commerce forward, more live selling. I also wonder if brands that are adept at making organic content, maybe they're already making content on YouTube, maybe they inherently perform better when it comes to, hey, let's really get serious about advertising. You think, I mean, do any of those make sense? Do you think they play out? Are they here? Are they to come when it comes to the platform?
100% makes sense. I think you're onto something here. I think there's a little bit of nuance there. Live shopping, big fan. I think it's going to increase. Exactly how YouTube plays into that, I'm not sure, but it should be positioned well, right? Like we spend a lot of time on YouTube, so I think that makes a ton of sense. We've worked on the organic piece. I think if you've got the skill set, the desire, the team, which now AI can help you with scripting and editing and all sorts of things. If you can create some organic content and start churning that flywheel, I highly recommend it. It's not necessary. Like a lot of the brands we're working with now that are scaling from 0 to $1 million a month in YouTube ad spend, they've got nothing organic. Nothing. So it's not a requirement, but if you can do that, those audiences help. Here's where I think that to me, this is the opportunity that's going to be available to most brands. That's tapping into the creator economy and the creator network on YouTube. So one of the things we've seen through studies and stuff is that people trust YouTube creators more than creators on other platforms, right? TikTok Shop has tremendous viral potential. So does Instagram and Meta. But a lot of times those are like algorithmic, right? I click and buy from somebody, but I never really followed them. I just saw their content, right? On YouTube, we have our favorite creators, and we have creators that we watch regularly. And when they say something, we trust it. And so now Google's making it easier and easier. I just got invited to an event in New York about a week ago where they're showcasing, here's how you can, as an advertiser, find creators who are already talking about your brand, how you can connect with them and start doing deals. So the platform is kind of still in its infancy. We've been testing it for a number of clients. But I think that's going to be like the thing that's going to be available to most brands, where you can tap into good creators, use even clips of their organic content, run those as ads. Now you've got all this baked in credibility, trust factor, all that, and you can use that to grow your brand. Yeah.
That's a match made in heaven. Wow.
It is. Yeah.
That's some sauce right there.
That's sauce, Brett. Man, we appreciate you coming on the show and making it. And brother, we look forward to following you around the country, stumping as you are for the good of YouTube and e-com brands everywhere.
Keep fighting the good fight. And we got to do an event together.
We'll do it, man.
Let's get e-com cowboy to the next OMG event.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it, brother. We appreciate you coming. Look forward to having you back, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. See ya.